The dynamics on the Impaulsive podcast have been causing issues for some of its co-hosts, and in particular, we'll be talking about George. While Logan Paul, the main host and star of the show, and his right-hand man Mike Malak typically dominate the conversation, it makes it very difficult for George to find opportunities to engage with the guests. During a particularly rough episode in November of 2022 with stand-up comedian Bobby Lee, George made the mistake of opening up about his personal struggle, which led Bobby using it as an opportunity to make fun of him. While Mike showed compassion and tried helping George out, Logan did nothing to intervene. This caused George to walk off the set during the show, and personally, I don't blame him. This is a problem not only because it creates a toxic environment for George, but also because it sends a message to the show's audience that it's okay to make fun of someone for their personal struggles. Logan did receive loads of backlash for this, especially while he was also getting cancelled by CoffeeZilla at the same time for his infamous NFT project CryptoZoo. Nonetheless, one of the main issues with the setup of the Impaulsive podcast is the lack of balance between hosts. While Logan and Mike sit on one side of the guests, George sits on the other and often struggles to be heard. This is in contrast to podcasts such as Flagrant, hosted by Andrew Schultz, which has a much more balanced dynamic between his three co-hosts. Schultz sits on one side of the guest while the other two co-hosts sit on the other side. This creates a more even playing field where each co-host can contribute to the conversation. The lack of balance on Impaulsive is directly correlated to the fact that Logan doesn't show George the same level of respect he shows Mike. When George does speak, he is often cut off by Logan, who wants to say something first.
How you're gonna make money drinking water.
Yeah.
Right. You know, professionally. It's like...
Before you go, George, I just want to say...
This creates a frustrating and demoralizing environment for George, who sometimes goes long stretches without saying anything. The Impaulsive podcast has a large and loyal following, but the way it's currently structured is causing problems for some of its co-hosts. While Logan and Mike are the main draws, George's contributions are important too, and he deserves to be treated with respect. By creating a more balanced dynamic, where each co-host has an equal opportunity to contribute, the show could become even better than it already is, and maybe even reach that number one spot Logan always claims to have already had.
You can't, here's what you can't do. You can't call yourself the number one podcast like we've been doing forever.
By showing compassion for their co-hosts and creating a safe and supportive environment, Logan and Mike could set a positive example for their audience as well. Not that this matters, but the Impaulsive podcast is personally my favorite on the platform, but it does feel like there's a weird dynamic between Logan and George. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I bet a lot of you would agree with me. Since the start of the show, there have been two co-hosts who have been bullied out of their positions by Logan and Mike, but that might be a story for next time. With that all being said, I'm Schmooze, and thank you so much for watching.